A very warm welcome to the August 2025 edition of the IoT Security Foundation webinar series. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. It is good karma for you. We are in full conference mode here at the IoT Security Foundation. For our 2025 conference, we've teamed up with TechWorks AI to bring you two conferences in one day at one location. It's taking place at London's IET on Thursday, the 30th of October. Nearest tubes are Embankment and Covent Garden. Early bird registration prices end on the 12th of September, and we still have limited exhibitor and sponsor opportunities left, including sponsorship of the event goodie bag, the venue registration desk, and the lanyards. Now, the lanyard is very, very good sponsorship because for getting your brand out there, it's not just on the one day. We use the imagery and the recorded talks long after the event, so that is a good one. For any and all details, please go to iotsf-ai.org. Later in today's broadcast, we'll have Javier Orensanz and Pascal Nazel of Low Risk talking about adopting a root of trust silicon design to handle post-quantum cryptography. But first, we cross over to Bengaluru, and Amit Roy is an industry consultant and currently leads market development for Device Authority, a global leader in zero trust IoT automation, focusing on industrial, healthcare, transportation, and critical infrastructure sectors. With 25 years in the semiconductor and high-tech industries, Amit previously drove business expansion at ST Microelectronics and Texas Instruments across India and South Asia, targeting industrial, automotive, defense, and space markets. He's a passionate technology advocate specializing in IoT security and privacy. Amit volunteers with ISO/IEC, India's Department of Telecom, and CDOT, and co-founded the IoT Security Foundation Bangalore chapter. His talk today is entitled Post-Quantum Cryptography for IoT, Securing Devices for the Quantum Future. If you have any questions or comments or observations on what you're about to hear, please put them in Zoom chat if you're watching live. Amit, the floor is yours, my friend.
Hello, everyone. So let me just start by beaming my screen. So Chris, do you see my screen?
Not quite yet. There you go, Amit. You're good to go.
Okay, great. Welcome, everyone, to today's critical discussion on post-quantum cryptography for the Internet of Things. I'm Amit Rao, and over the next 20 minutes, we're going to unpack why this isn't just a future concern, it's a present-day imperative. Now, here's the context. Everything around us, be it transportation system, medical devices, or the power grid that keeps our cities alive, even homeland security systems relies on cryptography and its invisible shield. So today, algorithms like RSA and ECC form the backbone of that shield. But here's the problem. Shor's algorithm running on a sufficiently powerful quantum computer can crack RSA and ECC in a matter of hours or even minutes. Now, that means that the very foundation of trust that secures our critical infrastructure could just collapse almost overnight once the quantum capability reaches scale. So now that we have these quantum, the IoT devices in medical and the infrastructure, automotive infrastructure, we're basically talking about millions, if not billions of these devices that could simply cannot be recalled from the field. Think about a pacemaker or industrial sensor and controller that will still be running when quantum machines can break today's encryption. And that really is a perfect storm. We are talking critical infrastructure exposure and an impossible recall problem and the certainty of future breaches if we don't act now. So today, let's dive into what this means for your organization, for your IoT deployments, and most importantly, how to prepare. So let's start with a reality check, because the quantum computing isn't just science fiction anymore. It's happening right now. It's in October 2024, Google actually demonstrated quantum supremacy, which was just the beginning. The Sycamore 67 qubit quantum computer actually performed the classical supercomputers by 9 orders of magnitude. And the Google's quantum supremacy demonstration was just the beginning. We have IBM, we have Microsoft, Quantinuum, PsiQuantum, USTC China, which are working on the cryptographically relevant quantum computers. And we are currently in early noisy intermediate scale quantum era. And over the next 5 years, we will have advancements in qubit count and error correction research. Now, the critical concept to understand is Y2Q, which is just like the erstwhile Y2K, years to quantum, estimated by experts to be within the next 10 to 15 years. Now, Y2K marks the point where quantum computers will be capable of breaking widely deployed cryptographic standards such as ECC RSA. And now for IoT devices, this really represents a fundamental breakdown of security. Authentication can no longer be trusted, confidentiality of data will be lost, and system integrity will collapse. The consequences are going to be severe, and devices could be cloned, sensitive communication decrypted, and unauthorized firmware updates pushed at scale. So this really creates the potential for mass malware injections across billions of connected devices in critical sectors like healthcare, transportation, energy, homeland security. Such systematic disruptions could translate into catastrophic real-world impact. While legacy devices be still in operation, by then will really remain exposed and unprepared and will face a critical security risk. Like I mentioned, IoT devices face a perfect storm when it comes to quantum threats. And let me put things in context. Unlike your laptop or a phone, which you will replace every year, IoT devices are built to last decades. And that's especially true in critical sectors like industrial, medical, mobility. For example, the pacemaker implemented today has to remain secure for the entire lifetime of the patient. And industrial sector sensor, in the industrial sector, the sensors that are deployed in 2025 will still be running in 2035, which is exactly when quantum computers are projected to break today's encryption. Now, this creates a unique urgency, because once these devices are in the field, there's almost no way to fix them. And here's the hard truth. Most of these IoT devices are not really designed for easy upgrades. Their cryptography is often hard-coded into firmware. Unlike software on our laptop, you just can't hit update. So recalling millions of these devices scattered across hospitals, factories, power plants, car isn't practical. In many cases, it's flat out impossible. Now imagine the exposure this creates in critical infrastructure, like a power grid running on compromised sensors, medical implants that cannot be remotely tampered with, connected vehicles whose communication can no longer be trusted. So IoT devices deployed today are already vulnerable to also HNDL, which are also harvest now, decrypt later attacks. Now, these aren't theoretical risks. They are real future breaches waiting to happen if we don't act now. And the key message will be here that these IoT devices will have a long lifespan that we are shipping today, and every insecure deployment adds to this future attack surface. So let's talk a little bit about the traditional cybersecurity approach, and they don't really directly translate to IoT, as you will see, because unlike a laptop or a server, IoT devices are incredibly resource constrained. A typical sensor might only have 256 bytes of memory and run on a battery designed to last for years. Now that's order of magnitude smaller than what we used to in computers or our smartphones. Now here's the challenge. Post-quantum cryptography, what we'll need in the near future, comes with a heavy overhead. While we covered the NIST post-quantum cryptography standards in a bit, but for illustration, let's take key size as an example. So ECC key exchange today takes about 256 bit, but a Kyber 512, the key byte actually increases to 1500 bytes, right? And on the processing side, what takes 2 milliseconds today could just take 10 or 100 times longer than PQC, under PQC. Now, what that essentially means for a tiny IoT device is that it's not just inconvenient, it's the difference between lasting years on a coin battery versus draining out in months. And here's another layer of complexity. Many of these IoT devices weren't really built to be flexible. The cryptography is hard-coded into firmware. You can't just push a patch when standards evolve. In practice, this means millions of deployed devices could become insecure overnight with no easy way to fix them. Finally, think about latency. Many of the IoT systems like cars have strict real-time requirements. Take V2V communication for collision avoidance. Today, we use ECDSA, a signature check that takes about 2 milliseconds, well within the 100 milliseconds safety budget. But now with dilithium coming in, that's almost 100 milliseconds. And if you have 10 or more, we're basically talking of 1000 milliseconds. And this delay actually breaks safety requirements and could literally cause accidents. So what does that tell us? Traditional cybersecurity methods simply don't work, don't map onto IoT. And the constraints, the overhead, and the real-time requirements all collide when you try bolting on PQC on IoT devices. So the key takeaway really here is crypto agility. We need to design IoT system that cryptographic algorithms could be swapped out as standards evolve without ripping out the hardware or cutting a device lifecycle short. For IoT, crypto agility isn't really optional. It's the only way to survive the post-quantum transition, but more of that in the subsequent slide. So NIST post-quantum cryptography standards are building blocks that will secure our digital world against quantum attacks. So NIST has standardized two families, a key encapsulation mechanism or KEM, which are used for establishing encryption keys, digital signature scheme, which ensures authenticity and integrity. So for KEM, the flagship choices Crystal's Kyber. Kyber is efficient, fast, and designed to replace RSA ECC for secure key exchange. For signatures, we have Crystal's Dilithium, which offers strong security with practical performance, making it suitable for IoT, cloud, and critical infrastructure. There's also Sphinx Plus, a stateless hash-based signature scheme. It's slower, but it generates larger signatures and provides diversity because it doesn't really rely on the lattice assumptions. Looking ahead, NIST has already standardized a Falcon, which is more efficient and ideal for constrained devices where space and speed matter. And just recently, the Hamming quasi-cycle HQC has been introduced, an additional KEM, giving more resilience and choice in deployment scenarios. So together, these algorithms that you see here form the toolkit for a quantum-safe future, covering both encryption and authentication needs across industries. So whether it's securing communication channels, verifying the device firmware, or protecting the critical infrastructure, these PQC standards will be at the core of our transition into post-quantum era. Let me also touch upon the PQC for IoT. And for most of this, we refer to findings from the PQM4 library, a benchmarking and testing framework started as a result of PQ Crypto project that was funded by the European Commission as part of Edge 2020 program. And this is now available on GitHub, by the way. It currently contains implementations of post-quantum key encapsulation mechanisms and post-quantum signature schemes targeting the ARM Cortex-M4 family of microcontrollers. While it is the most widely used microcontroller family in IoT today, but it is also resource constrained, limited memory, limited processing power. So the objective here is to really identify algorithms that are both secure and practical, that works on Cortex-M4. So out of the NIST selected algorithms that you saw on the previous slide, 3 stand out for Cortex-M4. Kyber, which is a clear winner, delivers strong performance with smart optimization. The trade-off, of course, is larger keys and ciphertext size compared to classical crypto, but still manageable on M4 kind of devices. The second one is dilithium. This is a digital signature scheme that balances performance and memory needs quite well. Optimized implementation already exists today on Cortex-M4, making it a practical choice for most IoT use cases. It's not the smallest in terms of signature, but it's robust and proven. And then we have Falcon, which is the one that has the smaller signature size, which is critical when you're dealing with bandwidth limited or memory sensitive devices, specifically the sensors, right? The catch here is the Falcon is more complex to implement and needs careful memory management, but it can be very effective where signature size matter the most. So how does it really translate into practice? You could look at, when it comes to connected appliances, main powered, you could pair Kyber and dilithium for a stronger security. For industrial IoT, where real-time performance is key, a Kyber plus Falcon makes a great hybrid. In short, Kyber is the foundation, and then you layer dilithium or Falcon depending on whether speed or size matters more. Now that's the roadmap for bringing PQC into Cortex-M4 based IoT devices. Also to watch out for new developments that are happening on the lightweight post-quantum cryptography schemes called Rudraksh, INF, HOR, specifically on the medical and bike, etc. So like I mentioned, what is important really is the crypto agility. And when we talk about IoT deployments across industries, the answer really lies with the way we deploy them, which is all about crypto agility. This simply means designing systems that can adapt to new cryptographic algorithms with or without, in fact, requiring a complete hardware replacement. That's the important bit, because instead of hardwiring one algorithm forever, we need to separate the cryptographic functions from the application logic using abstraction layer. Now, why does it matter really? Because it really allows you to update algorithms over the air through secure firmware updates, just like you patch your phone today. And this way, devices already in the field can evolve, stay protected against future threat without pulling them out of service. Now, during this transition, most experts suggest a hybrid way of doing it, which is both classical and post-quantum algorithms coexisting. That way, you stay protected against today's attacker while also preparing for tomorrow's quantum adversaries. Of course, hybrid cryptography isn't free. It comes with trade-offs. You see higher CPU cycles, more memory use, bigger bandwidth needs, more firmware complexities. And in the real world, that really translates to, say, for example, 20 to 50% more power consumption, larger certificates that eat into the network bandwidth, and the need to reserve 20-30% extra storage just for the firmware updates in the future. On top of that, you need this extra memory to enable crypto agility, so device can switch algorithms as the standards evolve. So what the designers and developers need to think about? A few things for sure. Leverage hardware acceleration or crypto coprocessors wherever possible. Pick efficient algorithms. For example, a Kyber 512 works better than 1024 for constrained devices. Optimize code and memory usage, and keep a track of the emerging lightweight PQC schemes that may be well suited for, sorry, just a moment. For the IoT, right? So in short, the hybrid crypto buys you time and resilience, but you got to design with efficiency and agility in mind. So when we talk about PQC, it's not just a technical shift, it's increasingly a regulatory mandate worldwide. And as you will see that the United States, the federal government with NSM, the Cybersecurity Preparedness Act and the CNSA agencies are requiring to start migration. And it's clear that PQC isn't optional for the US critical infrastructure. The Department of Homeland Security and the CISA have also published certain detailed roadmaps of PQC migration with heavy focus on critical infrastructure. In Europe, the Commission has issued a recommendation for coordinated PQC adoption across member states. More importantly, the new EU Critical Infrastructure Directive mandates that the PQC be deployed by the end of 2030. Meanwhile, the UK's National Cybersecurity Center has laid out a migration plan beginning 2028 and completion expected by 2035. So across the globe, and specifically US, EU, UK, the message is clear. It's not just about best practices. It's a compliance requirement that comes with clear deadlines. So you will also see global standardization bodies like ISO, IEC, IETF, and HCTC Cyber are driving alignment on post-quantum cryptography standards to ensure interoperability, security, smooth adoption worldwide. For organizations running IoT, OT, or connected critical system, this really means that crypto agility and planning a PQC migration now is not only about security resilience, but also about staying compliant with upcoming global regulations. Now, here's your practical roadmap on crypto agility and PQC readiness. Start immediately with a comprehensive assessment of your current IoT deployment. Which devices use cryptography? What are their expected lifespans? Which are the most critical to your operations? And this inventory is really crucial for prioritization. Next, begin with the NIST approved algorithms that we know of today. You could download the Open Quantum Safe library and run benchmarks on your target hardware. Design your next generation of devices with crypto agility from day one is the message. And this means that modular crypto components that can be updated in the field. Finally, work with the ecosystem partners. That's a critical bit. You need to work closely with chip vendors, cloud providers, PKI suppliers to ensure that they are also planning for the quantum transitions when they happen. You don't have to start from scratch. There are some resources out there. The Open Quantum Safe project, or OQS, provides reference implementation of all NIST algorithms that you can test today. Major crypto libraries like Bouncy Castle are already adding PQC support. OQS also integrates with popular crypto libraries like TLS, OpenSSL to let developers test and experiment with PQC in real world protocols such as TLS. And cloud providers like AWS, Microsoft, Google are rolling out post-quantum services as well. So the ecosystem is rapidly maturing, making implementation more accessible than ever. Now, leading organizations are not waiting. Some examples here, and I'll pick up two. BMW is already testing post-quantum cryptography in their connected vehicle platforms. Siemens is piloting quantum safe solutions in operational technology networks. And these early adopters are discovering that the transition is manageable when approach is systematic. And the key insight from what we see with these early deployments is start testing now to gain experience and identify challenge before they become urgent. So the quantum threat is real, and the timeline is accelerating. Like I said, we're looking at something like 10 to 15 years when the CRQC are able to actually break into ECC RSA. And the tools to prepare are already available. The priority is clear. Begin assessment testing now, and the window of preparation is limited. Once quantum computers mature, today's security will no longer be sufficient. Organizations that act early will strengthen their resilience build trust, and also secure a competitive edge in the quantum era. So those who delay will risk market exclusion, operational disruption, and severe security breach. So with that, thank you for joining today's session on the post-quantum cryptography for IoT. Remember that this isn't a problem for tomorrow. It's a challenge requiring action today. The quantum future is coming, whether we are ready or not. And the question is, will your IoT infrastructure be protected when it arrives? I have my LinkedIn QR link here if you would like to connect. Thank you very much for your time and attention. With that, over to you, Chris.
Amit Rao in Bengaluru, thank you very much indeed. And Amit's LinkedIn link is also in Zoom chat right now if you're watching this broadcast live. Again, if you're watching live, please put any questions for Amit in Zoom chat. There's plenty coming in already, and we'll put them to him during the Q&A section of today's broadcast. So a little bit more about the 2025 joint IOTSF and TechWorks AI conference now. The confirmed speakers so far are the UK Government Minister Ferial Clark, who is the Parliamentary Under-Secretary of State for AI and Digital Government. There's also Dex Hunter Taricki, formerly of SpaceX, Facebook, and the Executive Office of the UN Secretary General. We'll also have a senior representative from the NCSC, but we can't say who that is just yet in accordance with NCSC's protocol. We will also have David Chisnell, who is the Director of Systems Architecture at SCI Semiconductor. There'll be James Dickey of ETES. There'll be Ken Munro of Pentest Partners. And lastly, for the moment, Jesse Hamill-Stewart, who is a cybersecurity CDT PhD researcher at the Universities of Bristol and Bath. We've got plenty more speaker announcements coming your way. Go to IOTSF ai.org/speakers for the topics, abstracts, and bios of everyone that I've just mentioned.